Hi, this is Val Hart, the real Dr. Doolittle, and today I'm talking with Kay Aubrey-Chimene, and she is a bio-nutritional consultant. She's the owner and director of Grand Adventures Ranch and Holistic Equine Wellness and Cancer Recovery Center there in Sonoyta, Arizona. Welcome, Kay. Thank you so much for joining me.
Well, thank you for having me, Val. I appreciate it.
Wonderful. I am so glad. I am totally fascinated by what you do with cancer in horses, and I'm so curious to learn more, and I know that our listeners are also. Cancer is such a growing concern, not for just for us two-legged humans, but for our animals as well. And, you know, I fell in love with horses when I was 5 years old, so anything that has to do with them I want to know about. So tell me more about this. How many horses actually get cancer these days?
Well, that's a really interesting question because no one knows. We know that it's gone up, and we know that about the turn of the century, we think there were about 7 million horses in the United States.
Okay.
And according to the people whose job it is to track death statistics in horses, at this point, somewhere between 3 and 5% of horses are reported to have died with cancer.
Oof.
But they're not sure, and of course, most people never report cancer. For example, most people don't think of melanomas, what they see as bumps and lumps, especially on gray horses, as cancer. But melanomas are much like an iceberg. If you've got melanomas coming out the rectum, you probably are only seeing 5 or 10%, and the rest are down in the digestive tract and maybe wrapping around the colon. Wow. So it's often we have an older horse, he starts to go downhill, we put them down, and it's never reported as cancer. So we're not sure how many actually have cancer.
Wow.
And some vets never go through the reporting process. They just get called out. They see there's a tumor, they put the horse down.
Wow.
So we don't know. If it's 5%, if it was 0.5%, which is what they figure it was about 30 years ago, that would be about 3,500 horses in the United States. If it's 5%, that's more like 35,000 horses.
Wow.
In the United States.
Wow.
So it can be quite a number.
That's amazing. So do you think we're seeing more equine cancer then?
Oh, we are. That's the one thing they do know, is that we're seeing an increase in cancer.
And what makes you think so?
Well, according to the epidemiological studies and the actual amounts that are being reported, more and more horses are actually being reported to actually have cancer.
Oh, okay.
And types that we did not see 20 and 30 years ago.
Wow.
More sarcoids, more bone cancers and cancers of the blood. Things we never saw horses reported with lung cancer 30 years ago. So the incidence we think is about tenfold in the last 3 decades.
Wow. Oh, that's a chilling statistic. So, Kay, why do you think horses get cancer? What do you think that's all about?
Well, for many of the same reasons that we do, in the environmental toxicities that surround them, their food, their water, the way that we tend to poison our way to health. And what I mean by that is, again, 30 years ago, when I was a young girl and had my first horse, we very rarely wormed a horse. You might worm a horse if you knew that it had worms. And the vet would come out and he'd give him some sort of what we knew was toxic but would help get the parasites out of the colon, and that would take care of it. And now horse owners are being convinced to give these toxins every 6 to 8 weeks on a standard regimen. We're doing paste wormers. We're doing feed-through wormers on a daily basis. Those are daily poisons. Most of the chemically preserved sweet feeds that are out there, the senior feeds, the feeds to help feed up babies and get them fat, all of those are preserved with known toxins, BHA, BHT, and primarily ethoxyquin. And ethoxyquin is a first cousin of Agent Orange. So this is something we're feeding into our horses on a daily basis. We've got fields, I know that I'm going on, but there's so many different toxins. The hay that is being grown in many places of the country is being fertilized with municipal sludge.
Mm.
So, what's coming out after we flush our toilets is getting concentrated down and then put back onto the field to grow the hay. Mm-hmm. And that's concentrating all those toxins and heavy metals, et cetera, and that's going right back into their foods.
Mm. Mm. Oh, this just makes me sick.
That's the ugly start of the call, isn't it? That's the bad side, is that,
God. Mm-hmm.
We're being sold chemically preserved agri-waste as food,
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and we're setting our horses up to be more receptive to disease and cancer because many horses are getting fed a very high acid diet. So what I mean by that is foods that are very high in proteins, high in starches and sugars.
Okay.
Those make the body more acidic. Cancer likes an acid environment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So again, we're setting them up for them to be more easily attacked by the cancer.
Right. Well, I know if the pH is off, then all the pathogens, we become a walking petri dish. All the pathogens love, the acidic pH, right? They grow in it really happily. So, yeah.
And if you think about what a horse's diet is supposed to be, they're supposed to eat grass.
Yeah.
That's a very alkaline-forming food.
Right.
But when we throw in, many horses, especially in the western United States, because it is less expensive, because we've been convinced that protein is good, they're getting fed a very high-protein diet of alfalfa, which is a legume. It's not grass.
Yeah.
So they're getting more acidic. And so they have more problems that way.
Yeah, I got it. Plus, I'm just thinking, they stand in their stalls, so many of them these days. They're not free-ranging. They don't move all day like they're designed to do. And, movement is also critical to help with the blood sugars and the, process waste and move the lymph system and circulation and all that. So,
we could do another 3 or 4 calls just on how having that acid pool down into the feet when they don't move causes many of the foot problems that we see in horses.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that's a whole other topic, isn't it?
That's a whole other topic.
Yeah, but these are critical issues because most of us we don't know that we have any other choices. We want horses in our life, but we think it's okay to stick them in a stall and feed them the best food we know, which is going to be usually something like sweet feed. Or something that the commercial industry and even the vets have sold us, on.
Right.
And then we wonder why our animals aren't thriving and they're not doing well and they're sick and like you said, an exponential increase in cancer. So, oh gosh, you touched on a topic. I want to know a little more about melanomas. Tell me more about a melanoma. What is that, and how is it different from other types of cancer?
Well, let me start with how it's the same, real quick.
Okay.
All cancers, it doesn't matter what kind of cancer cell, all cancer cells are cells that have stopped using oxygen for energy and have started using sugar fermentation.
Oh, okay.
So every cancer cell is using sugar fermentation, which is very inefficient, which is why they start growing rapidly because they're trying to build more cells to get more energy, and it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, as it were. But melanomas are a skin cancer, much like people get skin cancers. We usually find them, not always, but usually find them close to the surface or parts of them close to the surface in horses. And we see them primarily, but not always, around the rectum, right around the anus, or along the ears of the horse. And we usually will see them on white horses, light horses that have less. There seems to be a relationship with the melanin in the skin.
Okay.
That is not always true. And even on gray horses, we've had great success, helping the horse to eliminate them, take them back off.
Okay.
But what we don't know, what most people don't realize, is that those bumps are just, like I said, the tip of the iceberg. What's truly going on are more lumps on long stems that come down, and they can literally wrap around the digestive tract and cut off the body's ability to move the food and fecal matter through.
Okay.
So often these horses might die of what's considered to be an impaction, a colic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But what caused the impaction was the stalk of this melanoma getting wrapped around the colon and preventing anything from moving through.
Mm.
And only a surgery would take care of that, and that's so expensive that many times we just put them down.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I can't even imagine a surgery to unwrap a melanoma that has, so tied up, tangled up and tied up the intestines. Oh, that must be so tricky. I know colic surgery, is difficult. This has to be even more difficult.
Well, and of course, those horses, when they stand back up, their entire belly is pressing usually along the suture where you've cut them open. So
right.
It's very difficult to recover from. Yeah,
yes,
colic surgery can be tough.
Yeah. Yeah. I've lost 2 horses to colic, so I know the pain of that.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's really hard.
Yeah, it is. It's horrible. I called my first one was my week in hell. With my mare in emergency, vet care and stuff. So of course she didn't make it. So anyway, So I want to know, if your horse is diagnosed with cancer, what can you do? What would you recommend?
Well, first, take a great big deep breath.
Yeah.
Right.
Like the Kleenex and a big breath. Okay, good. Got it.
Horses survive cancer better than humans do.
Really?
Because no one told them to be scared of it.
What a great thing to say. Say that again, Kay.
Well, horses outlive humans with cancer because no one told them that cancer was going to kill them.
Wow. I love that.
There's such an emotional component to when we get told we have cancer that we shut down and we go into, okay, I've quit. Right?
Yeah, I'm dead.
Well, the horse is just, I got a bump. Okay. I probably had that bump for a year already. It's just you finally noticed.
Yeah.
And so we have time. And what I encourage my clients to do is to change their their emotional response to the word cancer.
Okay.
Cancer is the greatest blessing we could have.
Really?
Well, think about it. What causes cancer is a buildup of poisons in the body that the body, through its miraculous ability, walls off somewhere. For example, you have a smoker, they have all this tar and nicotine building up. The body kind of walls it off in a corner until that buildup of tar and nicotine affects the cells around it, and they turn cancerous. They're starved for oxygen, so they start using sugar, right?
Right.
But if the body couldn't have walled that off, it would have died of the poison immediately.
Yeah.
You would have died a long time ago. So this cancer is an indication that we've had time together that we wouldn't have had, and we have time to turn around the situation.
Okay.
All right? So, if you can look at cancer as a wake-up call, but not a death bill,
okay.
All right, then it becomes a blessing.
Okay.
So what do we do? What do we do then? We take a deep breath. We go, okay, I have time. I'm going to do something with this.
Okay.
Education is the key.
Okay.
Find out, because every vet has a little bit different background, and because so few horses are actually diagnosed with cancer, there's a very large percentage of veterinarians who have no experience with it.
Okay.
So when your vet comes out and he says, oh, man, your horse has cancer, you need to say, okay, are you familiar with dealing with this kind of cancer? How would you approach it? What have you done in the past? What has been the outcome? And then start researching other things you can do.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I truly believe that when you get rid of the poisons from the environment, you start providing a biologically appropriate highly nutritious diet and you detox the body, many times the body can rectify even cancer on its own.
Okay.
So we start there. My 3 favorite words on what anybody calls me for a consult, my 3 favorite words come out: detox, detox, detox.
Okay.
All right? The first step in detox is to stop putting toxins in.
Okay.
So look at the water you're putting in their bucket. Look at the hay that you're buying. Stop doing, if I had a horse with cancer, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look for organic grain sources, or even better, tested chemical-free grains, if I'm even going to give grain at all.
Okay.
All right? I'm going to look for highly nutritious but lower protein, trying to alkalize the body and keep them clean.
Okay.
I'm going to stop any feed-through wormers, paste wormers, vaccinations. I'm going to stop doing toxins until the body can get healthy.
Okay.
All right. Now, we never use paste wormers or feed-through wormers. We use only herbs.
Okay.
But if you are using those, start looking at alternatives. Start educating yourself as what else is available.
Okay.
Then there are ways that you can start cleansing the body, either gently or radically, depending on how depleted your horse is now. Gentle detox is easier on everybody, all right? Because detoxification is hard work.
Yeah.
Okay? Getting healthy can make you sick.
Yeah.
And it can make your horse sick. As they start cleansing the stuff out of their cells, it's going to come out. The organs of elimination are overwhelmed. So we start by supporting and cleaning the organs of elimination: the liver, the kidneys, the lymph system, the lungs. Okay? And as those get cleaned out, then they can start cleaning the toxins out of the body. And as we then, once those are ready to go rock and roll, once they can do their job, then we start fighting the cancer itself.
Okay.
But if we flush the toilet before the drain field is ready, we're going to have a heck of a mess. All of that junk is going to back up into the body.
Right. It has no place to go.
Right. I equate fighting the cancer, whether it be chemotherapy, coke therapy, the homeopathic protocol that we use with ozone, high-dose vitamin C, whatever approach it is you're doing, when you start killing off cancer cells, if the organs of elimination and the lymph system are not functioning, you can kill the host. Yeah. So we start usually with 21 days, maybe 90 days of detox. Okay. And then we start going, and then we start going after the cancer.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, very cool. This sounds really hopeful. Instead of like you said, cancer is a death sentence. This feels like there's something absolutely that we can do that will make a big difference, and that, like you said, 21 to 90 days of a detox, and then start fighting the cancer. So literally within a relatively short amount of time, given a chance. And if we wake up and pay attention, right, and actually take action, then our horse could be well. They don't have to die.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. Our on-site protocol here for people who have horses with cancer.
Right.
Usually we only say, expect your horse to be here 90 days. Will he be done at the end of that? No. But he'll be ready to go home for you to continue with what you learn here.
Wow.
Okay.
Tell me more about your program, Kay.
Well, we do phone consults, of course, for people who can't get their horses here to Arizona. But the preferred way to work is to be able to have the horse here where we can control everything that goes in. We do, all grass hays, organic grain mixes, and then we bring a horse in. We evaluate them. The vet sees them, usually within a couple days of them arriving. The vet evaluates them. We evaluate them through photopuncture, which is acupuncture with light. We do a scanning of the body and find the blocked energy points of the body, which tells us a lot about what's going on. Okay. The farrier checks them. The dentist checks them, all right, because there are numerous acupuncture meridians that run right along the jawline.
Yeah.
And if those are impinged upon, right, if we're blocking the flow of energy, we want to get all the energy in the body working.
Okay.
We start them on a detox protocol that each horse will be a little bit different. We use kinesiology and muscle testing to decide specifically how much and what we do of each thing every day.
Okay.
And then we will also add, either so much time in a round pen or hand walking or being ponied, and as the horse can, to make sure that and our horses all go out on anywhere between 5 and 20 acres of pasture with small herds during the day, so that they get out, they're moving, they're pumping blood by their feet. We make sure we pull their shoes as soon as they come.
Okay.
If they have shoes on, because we want that hoof acting as additional hearts. Okay, a horse has 5 hearts.
Okay, tell me.
All right. Well, if you think about it, you have the heart up in the chest.
Okay.
And then you have the soles of the feet.
Right.
And when a horse takes a step, that hoof flexes.
It's a pump.
It's a pump.
Cool. Oh yeah, I never thought of it that way, but I love that idea. That makes so much sense.
When they can't move, they're not pumping. And that's
right.
Okay. So we want to make sure that they're moving. That may be that they're out on pasture for 4, 5, 6, 10 hours a day. It may be that they actually get some concentrated work, bring them up to the point where they're sweating, so that we know that they're moving the lymph system to that level. Okay.
Good.
Right. And then we start our primary approach is we use something called Coke therapy, which is a process that was developed by a Dr. Koch back in the early 20th century, the early 1900s.
Okay, spell that for me.
Koch.
Okay.
All right.
Go ahead.
And he expanded upon much of the work that had been done by Otto Warburg, who was the one who discovered that all cancer has stopped using oxygen and started using sugar.
Okay.
And a number of people at that time postulated that there must be a trigger that would turn it back. So being a homeopathic, a classically trained homeopathist, Koch found the substance. He identified the substance in the body, which was also identified by someone who won the Nobel Prize for Medicine for doing the same thing.
Wow.
There's a substance that the body produces called glyoxide. And when that cell switches from normal to cancerous, this glyoxylide is produced.
Okay.
So Koch, under the theory of like cures like, made a homeopathic mother tincture of this glyoxylide and re-injected it back in the body, along with lots of excess oxygen. And what he found was that cancerous cells would then not only start using oxygen again, but do so rapidly that they would burn themselves out of the body.
Wow.
So we do a combination. Wow. Yeah, and he was very successful for many, many years in mostly the southeast portion of the United States. He was taken to court by the FDA. He won, but he ended up moving to Brazil.
Goodness.
And there are many naturopaths across the world today, especially in Germany and Europe, that still do the Koch therapy. I happen to be fortunate enough that the veterinarian that I work with does the Koch therapy.
Oh, wow.
And we combine the injection of these homeopathics with ozone. We do rectal ozone that infuses, it puts this ozone directly into the mesenteric artery that wraps around the rectum.
Okay. And
then once a week, the veterinarian would do IV ozone. It goes directly into the bloodstream and the lungs.
Wow.
And that is a big portion of how we work with the cancer here.
Okay.
We also, we may use herbs such as graviola or escharotics for topical things like sarcoids. We may burn them off with that. There's lots of different approaches.
Okay.
Each one is a little bit different, but the core approach for us is the Koch therapy.
Cool. Oh, this is so exciting. So, Kay, what could you tell people about preventing cancer in their horse? How do you prevent this?
by feeding a horse like a horse.
Okay.
What did Mother Nature feed your horse?
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
In the wild, horses, they had lots of range. Like you said, they moved a lot. They got out. And they ate a wide variety of plants.
Yeah.
They would have a variety of grasses. They might get a little bit of legume. They might get some dried fruits. They might get, all sorts of different things.
Mm-hmm.
And as they moved, those plants would be grown on soil that had different mineral support. So they'd be getting a wide variety of organic minerals.
Yes.
Well, obviously, we in this country do not have room for 9 million horses or 7 million horses to have that kind of space. So we've elected to put them in barns and small corrals.
Yeah.
So in order to replicate that, number one, we need a forage that more replicates what they would eat. Grasses. I like a Bermuda grass, orchard grass mixes, good grass mixes that are going to replicate that forage that they eat 24/7.
Yeah.
Not in small, concentrated batches. If your horse is done with breakfast in an hour, you've done it wrong. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
And very little grain. Healthy horses, rarely need grain unless they're under, a lot of exercise. Race horses, warm-blooded horses in training. Even then, good grains. For example, we do a tested chemical-free organic grain mix that we feed 1 cup versus a 3-pound coffee can of sweet feed.
Okay.
Because it's the whole grain. It has all of the oils, the fats, the calories in it, and it's not this agri-waste that's getting, that's getting sold to us as senior feed. The wheat chaff and the soybean meal, or not meal, the hulls and the oat hulls and all of that are going in with molasses on them and trying to convince our horses that that's food.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, we use herbs. We try to keep the immune system ramped. So twice a year we do herbal warmers that happen to be immune system builders instead of toxifiers, the way pace warmers are.
Okay.
We choose to, all of our horses get 4 free choice minerals in their stalls every night.
Okay.
So they can balance out their own pH, their own trace mineral needs, their own overall calcium, magnesium, phosphorus needs, and then they get a daily vitamin mineral.
Wow.
One of the side benefits, I have people tell me, but man, that's so expensive, and in this economy, I can barely buy my hay.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you that when my horses 15 years ago went from just having a salt lick to having the full free choice mineral and vitamin program, they went from eating 10 to 11 bales of hay each a month, sometimes 12, depending on the horse, down to 8 or 9.
Wow, really?
Well, I pay $15 to $18 a bale for my hay.
Wow.
If I'm saving 2 to 3 bales a month of hay, I've paid for my supplements twice over.
Wow.
I've never had a colic, knock on wood.
Yeah, me too.
We have a boarding facility here. We don't have to be up at midnight checking to make sure the horses aren't colicking.
Yeah.
Because they can balance their own pH needs. They can when the weather changes, or the hay changes, or a new horse has come in and it stresses everybody's immune system.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they'll start really chowing down on those free choice minerals.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they balance themselves.
Cool. I love the free choice minerals. Those are
the
cool
free choice minerals they're really key.
Yeah.
And there are articles about using free choice minerals on my website if people are curious.
Speaking of which, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kay.
You asked me, the other thing I would say is regular detoxification.
Okay.
Okay, not only stopping the toxins going in, but, maybe once a year or so doing a cleanse.
Okay.
Okay? Especially if your horses are on city water.
Yeah.
Okay, if your hay is grown with municipal sludge. I always recommend doing a detox after your vaccinations. If you choose to vaccinate, there's a lot of mercury and other adjuvants and nasty stuff in those vaccines.
Yeah.
you want to do a cleanse afterwards.
This is brilliant. You have a brilliant program, Kay. I love this. I can see why you call it Holistic Equine Wellness and Cancer Recovery Center. That's exactly what you're doing. And further, you're teaching people how to avoid cancer in the first place. And I love the approach. For resources, what resources do you have for folks?
Well, there are articles on our website.
Okay. And again, the website is?
GrandAdventuresRanch.com.
Right. GrandAdventuresRanch.com. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And also for people who listen to this call and reference it, we're happy to give them a free half-an-hour health consultation.
Oh, that's great. Go ahead. Wonderful. So a free half-hour equine health consultation, and that's a $50 value, right?
That is.
Excellent. And so how do they get that?
They just call and they mention that they listen to the Dr. Doolittle show.
Okay.
And we'll be happy to do that for them.
Awesome. I love that. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you want people to know about or anything else you'd like to share?
Well, also if people are interested in looking at a biologically appropriate diet and adding minerals and so on in, if they reference the show, we'll be happy to do a 10% discount on doing the full Dynamite free choice mineral and vitamin program.
Oh, I love that. So in addition to a free half-hour consult, you're also offering a 10% discount off of your Dynamite equine nutritional products.
That's correct.
Ooh, I love that. I don't have a horse anymore, but if I had a horse, I would be calling you up right now. Definitely. This is a brilliant program. I so appreciate you sharing this with us.
Well, no problem.
Yeah, thanks.
As you can tell, it's my passion.
I'm starting to get that idea. Kay, what brought you into this? Why is it your passion? What led you this direction?
Well, I had a horse save my life.
Wow.
Back in the early 90s, I had become the quintessential couch potato.
Okay.
I had arthritis. I stood up out of bed. I was 32 years old, stood up out of bed, and my foot broke.
Oh. Wow.
I was brittle. I was in pain. I was fat, and I wasn't moving.
Okay.
And a good friend of mine drugged me out and got me back. I hadn't ridden a horse in 12 years. And she got me out and got me riding again. And not long after that, she said, there's a horse you've got to see.
Okay.
And she took me over and introduced me to a horse named Sport. And he was the spitting image of the little Arabian I'd had when I was a teenager.
Oh,
and I fell in love. And I didn't think about the fact that he had shaved spots on the side of his body and that he had some swollen tendons, and I bought him. And I had to go home and explain to my husband how I had just spent all this money and now was under commitment to feed this horse every month. But God love him when I said, it's the only thing I want to do that'll get me out of bed in the morning.
Yeah.
My sweet husband said, okay, keep the horse.
Wow.
It's a good thing. I would have kept the horse anyway, but
lucky for him, he gave you the right answer.
That's right. And over the next couple of years, that horse went through double-bowed tendons because he had old bows we didn't know about.
Okay.
He went into complications from fly allergies that literally had dinner plate-sized granulomas over about 60% of his body.
Good Lord. Ugh.
We thought we were going to lose him. And it wasn't until my veterinarian, I had a veterinarian, thank goodness, who was very holistically minded, and a woman who worked with the Dynamite Nutritional Company, actually, looked at me and she said, you've got to stop thinking you have a problem because of flies. Because we were we were 24/7, spraying him down with fly spray, keeping fans on him, doing everything because we thought all of this came from flies. She says, you have flies because you have a problem.
Yeah.
The flies don't drag the garbage can to your back door.
That's right.
And it was like a light bulb went off. I was like, oh, my God, of course. And that led me into working with an iridologist. We did photos on him that showed just how incredibly toxic his nutritional system was. I mean, his whole digestive system was black. And over the next few years, he had 2 different autoimmune diseases that WSU had never seen in the same horse and didn't know any horse could survive. He's still alive, by the way. That was 15 years ago.
Oh, my God. I've got chill bumps. I'm so, keep going.
You know, he went through so many different things. He now, and he had a weak immune system to start with. He's down to like 3 teeth in the upper part of his mouth. Because the acid in his body has just eaten his teeth away. But he's my heart horse. He is my sweetheart. He's now about 26 years old.
Wow.
And he, in my having to figure out what to do for him, he saved me.
Yeah.
I don't have arthritis anymore.
Wow.
He taught me how to do endurance riding. We went and did, 50-day and multi-day rides.
Wow.
After I hadn't been on a horse in 12 years. I don't get sick. He changed my life. And that became, at one point we thought he had cancer.
Yeah.
So that became a real rallying cry for me. So that's what pulled me in, was a horse named Sport.
Wow. Thank you, Sport. Well, that was a love affair that was meant to be. Boy, he was a master and is a master teacher for you, helping you with your life's purpose. And I'm so delighted that you've chosen to go this way and to bring this information out to the rest of us. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Let's finish it up here then. So again, everybody, let's see. How do they contact you, Kay? Do you want them to go to the website and email you from there, or
they can do that, or they can directly email me at Kay at grandadventuresranch.com.
Got it. Kay at grandadventuresranch.com. Yeah, so everybody go and check in with Kay to get your half-hour free equine health consultation. And if you're interested in getting the Dynamite Equine Nutritional products, then just mention this call, and you'll get 10% off of that. And thank you, Kay, so much for making that available to our listeners.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay. How long is that offer good for? Just so we want our callers to take action here.
Great. Thank you for asking me that. The offer's good through September 31st of 2010.
All right. Well, I am fascinated. I've got so much to think about now. I hope everybody else does too. I think let's close it here, and I'm going to catch you on another call. You've got more that we want to talk about.
Wonderful.
Well, thank you again for being my guest, and later.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.